I give it to the house of my God. And then it goes on to describe how much. And it was a lot. David gave incredibly generous. He says at the end of verse 5, who then will offer willingly, consecrating himself today to the Lord? Verse 6, then the leaders of fathers' houses made their free will offerings, as did also the leaders of the tribes, the commanders of thousands, hundreds, the officers over the king's work. They gave for the service of the house of God, and then it tells all that they gave, and it was a lot. Verse 6. And whoever had precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of the Lord. Notice how many times house of the Lord is used. In the care of Jehiel the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced because they had given willingly. For with a, here it is, whole heart they had offered freely to the Lord. David the king also rejoiced greatly. Notice in verse 9 it says a whole heart. Notice in verse 18 it says the hearts of your people. And then notice in verse 19, again, that phrase is used, whole heart. We've been talking a lot about the heart lately around here. My brother spoke a few weeks ago. We're going to have this whole heart advance, men's event, April 4th through 7th. We're in a 40-day fast right now as a church because we want to be more wholehearted for God. By the way, I'm so encouraged. Every one of the 40 days, already at least one person has signed up. So if you've not signed up to be a part of the 40-day fast, go to the app, go to the register section. We want many people on every day. What is a fast? A fast is when you give up food for at least a day. You only drink water or juice. And you seek the Lord with greater intensity. And so the time you would have spent eating, you spend in prayer, in seeking God. You're asking God, create in me a clean heart, oh God. Because, beloved, only God can ultimately give you a whole heart. But we play a huge part when we surrender, when we're humble before Him, when we're willing to see anything in our lives that are displeasing to Him. God wants us to be wholehearted. So the heart is the seat of the emotions. The heart is the motivation of your life. The heart is what drives your actions. The heart, listen closely, is who you are when no one else is looking. Now be careful today, because when you think no one else is looking, there might be a camera. Mr. Kraft found that out this week in Jupiter, Florida. But the more important matter is God sees everything. You can fool your spouse. You can fool your best friend. You can fool your boss. You may fool your professor. You cannot fool God. He sees all. And the awesome thing about our God is this. He knows your heart. He knows it frontwards, backwards, and sideways. He knows every motive of your heart. And He still loves you. And He's still committed to you. And if you're willing to give Him your heart, He can transform it. He can mold it. He can shape it by the power of His Holy Spirit. And so I have found in my own life that the more I understand who God is, the more I have an accurate view of Him, the more easily it is to yield my heart to Him. Because who best can run your life than the one who created you and has all power and spoke the world into existence and can change anything that you struggle with? This is our God. So the first thing that's necessary to receive an MDF is heart surrender. Heart surrender. Have you given your heart to God? Has there been a time in your life when you consciously say, God, I give my heart to you. I surrender to you. When you do that, beloved, it releases the more active, powerful presence of the Holy Spirit in your life. It's like a dam that gets just let go. When you yield your heart, and I know it's a struggle because it's spiritual warfare. Satan wants to he will do everything he can to keep you from yielding your heart to God. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus said, I've come that you might have life and have it abundantly. And so when we battle through that spiritual warfare and we yield our hearts to God, it unleashes the grace, the love, and the power of the Holy Spirit in your life. You'll see changes. You'll see these changes that are unexplainable. Just yesterday, I was having my quiet time. I've been in the book of Isaiah. Lee Deloach has kind of got me fired up about Isaiah recently. In Isaiah 66:2, to this one I will look, to him who is humble, contrite of spirit, and trembles at my word. That's a whole heart. He who is humble, contrite of heart, contrite of spirit, and trembles at my word. Number 2, part of being wholehearted is a vertical focus. Very interesting. In verse 7, it says they gave for the service of the house of God.
Now, for a limited time only, LASIK Plus can help fix your vision starting at $250 per eye. Our best price.
Wait a minute, which is it? Are they giving it to the temple, or are they giving it to God? The answer is yes.
Hi, I'm Bill Myers, and this is my video tip of the week. This week's video tip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to connect your camcorder directly to your computer so you can record video live rather than going to tape or going to a memory device. This can be really handy when you're recording videos for YouTube or when you want to do a quick video and you don't want to go to the trouble of putting it on tape and dumping the tape to your computer. It's really easy to do, especially if you're using Sony Movie Studio or Sony Vegas. I'll show you how to do it. First thing you need a camcorder that's got FireWire out. And this is Canon HP20, and it's got the FireWire connection right on the back. And you'll also need a long FireWire cable. Now, in my case, my camcorder is about 8 feet away from me on a tripod, and I've got a 12-foot FireWire cable that I run from the camcorder to my computer. So what you do is you connect the FireWire cable to your camcorder and run the other end of your computer, and you start your video editing program. In my case, it'll be Sony Vegas or Sony Movie Studio. And once you start it, you turn the camcorder on, and as soon as you do, you'll have an option on your screen that shows capture. And if you look at this little window here, you can see that I'm capturing this video live. Once you do that, anytime you want to capture video, once you have things all set up, click the capture button and it captures. Now when you do that, there's one thing you want to do first, and that's to turn the audio down on your speakers, because if you don't, you're going to get feedback. But that's it. You record the tip that you want or the video that you want, and once you finish recording, you hit the stop button on in Sony Vegas, and when you do, that video comes immediately in your media pool and you start editing. It's real easy to do, and you can capture standard definition or high definition as I've done here. Easy to do, it saves you from having to dump the tape or dump to a memory device and going back to the computer. Now there's one thing that I generally do. Even though I'm capturing live to my computer, I also have a tape in the camcorder record that way, just in case things don't go wrong. Anyway, that's how easy it is to record from your camcorder to your computer. I'm Bill Myers. That's been another one of my video tips for the week. Find more like this at www.bmyers.com.
Now the New Testament parallel to this is 2 Corinthians 8. This is in reference to the Macedonian churches giving a special offering they had, and it says they urgently pleaded. The word literally means beg. Please let us give. Please take an offering. Please let us give for this need. That's the attitude. They urgently pleaded with us for the privilege. See that? It's a privilege to give to the Lord, of sharing in this service to the saints.
Hey beauty, my name is Christina, and I'm so excited to be here today to share with you guys
here's that first point, the heart issue. They gave themselves first to the Lord,
you will have the opportunity to customize and create your own site in less than an hour. GoDaddy makes it super easy and very convenient for those who want a beautiful personalized site but don't have much skill. So many options GoDaddy has to offer. You can add your Instagram, Google, you can get to start super easy. If you guys are just as excited as I am to try out GoDaddy,
where's your heart today? Be honest, be real, don't pretend. Where's your heart? God wants your heart because He loves you. God wants your
Marcy
heart.
is a masterful marketer for a mid-sized business. Tyler's the head of HR and trains the team for that very same company. Whitney is a wizard with project workflow, but all of them could use a little help. The three of them discovered Capterra, the best place to find business software to help their workday woes. And with the right software in place, their flawless feats prompted promotions. Capterra, its software selection simplified.
It's internal motivation, not external manipulation.
If you want to stream live video on the internet, there's a couple of options that you can use. You can use the built-in iSight camera. You can connect a webcam, or you could use an external video camera to connect and send your video image live on the internet. In order to connect an external camera, it used to be that you could take a camera and plug in the FireWire into your computer. But more recent computers do not allow you to use FireWire. They do not come with it built in, and cameras do not come with FireWire built in either. So in order to get an HD video camera on the internet, there's a couple other steps that you may need to do than simply plug in a cable directly to your computer. Let me show you how to get this Canon camera HD video streaming live on the internet. First of all, this camera does not come with a FireWire port, so what you'll need to do is connect via an HDMI cable. Now if you'll notice, there's an HDMI mini cable right here. Now what many people think that they need to do is simply take their HDMI mini cable, plug it into the camera, and then on the Mac, just plug in the HDMI cable. Unfortunately, even though it fits, this will not stream video live to the internet. This HDMI port on your Macintosh is a video out, not a video in. So simply by plugging in your video camera into this port, it's not going to work.
Look at these verses. In verse 8 it says, people rejoice.
Instead, what you need to do is have some sort of video converter. I like to use an Ultra Studio mini recorder that runs through Thunderbolt. So what this does is it takes the HDMI signal from your camera, you can connect it or you can connect an SDI in. You simply plug this in and then plug it into one of your Thunderbolt ports on your computer.
It comes from the indwelling spirit in our lives. The privilege and the joy to give to the Lord, to invest in the kingdom.
Now, more recent MacBooks and MacBook Pros have two Thunderbolt ports, so you can plug in two devices at once. With the device plugged in, and your camera turned on, all you have to do is use a program that will now allow you to stream to the internet. To stream to the internet, I click on Wirecast. This is a program that allows live streaming. When it opens, it asks if you would like to use a tutorial. You can use the tutorial and it will show you how to get started and do a lot more work on here. I'm going to simply show you how to connect. So I click continue, and then I'm going to make my screen a little bit larger. I come down here to one of these tracks, I click on the camera, and here I can either add my FaceTime HD camera, which is the built-in camera on my Mac, or I can go down to Ultra Studio Mini Recorder One Shot, which is what this device here is. When I select that, it's then going to show me the camera that I have set up. I can click on this camera, and I can choose that camera to then stream live on the internet. So I can choose this camera to stream live on the internet. And this way, you can get a live HDMI feed going in frame, and I choose which destination I would like to use. Now it has a number of things that you can use, such as High School Cube, YouTube. Those are two that I use. You can also record it in various ways. You can click on more, and you'll find that there's actually more options for you to use here.
What were God's feelings?
Go ahead and select OK. Let's say that I wanted to use YouTube. I would simply click on YouTube, click OK. It's now going to ask you to authenticate. What you should have done is created a live event in YouTube previously. If you have done that, all you have to do is simply click Authenticate, log in, and it will find the live event that you've previously created. If you have not created a live event, you should do that first, and then this will allow you to stream to YouTube live. Now this is how to set up a single camera shot. I'm going to go ahead and click on blank shot. It's going to blank out this shot. You can see that I have my one camera here. But if I want to do a multi-camera setup, maybe I'm doing a sporting event or a play and I want to get multiple shots, I would need more than one camera. In order to do this, you can bring in your other camera. Again, you can plug in your other camera using an HDMI cable. Connect your HDMI cable. So now I have my two cameras. You're going to use your HDMI cable again to a mini recorder, plug that in. So now you have two mini recorders set up. You're going to be able to have two cameras. Now because I did this while Wirecast is open, it might not recognize it. And notice how it doesn't see another shot. So what I have to do is quit out of Wirecast. Once I quit out of Wirecast, I can open it up again. and I don't need the tutorials, I'm going to go ahead and maximize my screen. Now I can add in my recorder shot 1. I can add in my recorder shot 2. So here you can see I have both shots.
Solomon started off great. Solomon was used by God in this chapter. But Solomon drifted.
You can see two different shots inside of Wirecast. I can choose one shot. I can select the other shot. Or I could blank them both. Now Wirecast allows you to layer your different shots or your tracks and compose different shots. And this is beyond the scope of today's lesson, but you can see here I have 2 cameras set up. Now if you wanted to have a third camera set up, because you're limited, you only have 2 Thunderbolt ports inside your MacBook Pro. You can't put in a third Thunderbolt port. Blackmagic Design also sells what's called the Intensity Shuttle. This allows you to have video in and video out in various formats. In this case, we're going to use the HDMI in. This is a USB 3.0 cable, and you can tell it's USB 3.0 because it has the SS next to the arrows. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. So now I have my third device.
And sexual immorality was right in the midst of that. Isn't it interesting that things
So I have my 2 mini recorders. I have my Blackmagic Intensity Shuttle plugged in to my third camera. So now I have 1, 2, 3 different cameras. I'm going to quit out of Wirecast. I'm going to open up Wirecast.
Yes, I blow it. Yes, I fail. But I want you, and I'm going to get up every time I fall, and I'm going to run
and now I can add in
the heart of God.
The Intensity Shuttle shot,
take a moment and spend just a little bit of time
the mini recorder shot,
in verse 17 when it says, look at this, God
and the other mini recorder shot. So now I have that camera, that camera, and that camera. I have 3 cameras set up running into a laptop that now I can stream live. Recently, I've only been able to do 2 cameras. I was only able to do 2 mini recorders, or I could do the USB 3.0 Blackmagic Intensity Shuttle. But when Apple upgraded to Yosemite, I upgraded my machine to run Yosemite as well. And then I downloaded the most recent driver updates for Blackmagic Design. And now I'm able to run all 3 cameras, all 3 Blackmagic input devices at the same time. If you're having issues getting all 3 of these devices to run, make sure that you're running the most recent drivers and that you've updated your Mac OS to Yosemite. And this will allow you to do a 3-camera shoot with equipment that you could fit essentially in a backpack.
And see if you will trust and obey Him.
The demand for instant access to video is growing. People love the feel of live access. So in this video, we're going to show you 2 live streaming setups. I'm Mia with Kelby One. I know the words live streaming can sound really scary, but I'm going to break down the process and in 5 simple steps. Now, while you can live stream from your smartphone, if you want better video quality, try using a professional camera. I'll show you an example in this video. We're going to cover wired and wireless live streaming, so if you're mobile with your camera, stay tuned. If you're looking for some more advanced advice involving multiple cameras, keep an eye out for the second video in this series. It'll cover some advanced options.
Anything that's not pure gold or
First
silver.
of all, the type of camera you choose is important. You want a camera that has a clean HDMI output. Most camcorders designed for video, like the one we're using here, the Canon XA25, has a clean HDMI output. But some DSLRs don't. When you see the display overlay with things like average color and camera settings, that's no good. And it's extremely distracting for live stream. So if you're working with a DSLR, make sure the HDMI signal is clean.
They know they have pure gold and pure silver.
Next, make sure you have access to the internet, either via Wi-Fi like I have here, or network cable. Make sure you're working on a dedicated line, not an open connection without firewall restrictions. This is super important to maintaining a strong and steady feed. A good speed to shoot for, if you're serious about producing a clean, uninterrupted feed, is 10 megabits per second upload and download speed.
we sin or we stumble, that's a test in the sense that, what will I do with that sin? Will I go further into sin, possibly a stronghold, possibly an addiction, or will I see that sin, say thank you God for showing me, and go and run to the cross with that sin to confess it, to ask God to forgive us, and He's willing to do it anytime, and then to be filled with the Holy Spirit to not sin again.
HD capture device like this Blackmagic Design Ultra Studio
see things in your life that are not pleasant.
If you're only going to stream live, then the mini recorder is perfect. It's a device that captures the camera's HDMI video signal via Thunderbolt.
Not only is practical in bringing us to God into a relationship, but it's practical for the rest of your life. Once you enter into that relationship and you realize you sin, you come and you bring it to the cross for fresh forgiveness, fresh mercies, new every morning. Furthermore, the gospel is practical because Jesus not only died and rose to be sin.
That's a mini.
When He ascended, He left His Holy Spirit. And His Holy Spirit lives in the heart of every believer. And the Holy Spirit is the one who works in us both to will and to do for His good pleasure. The gospel is what we need at the beginning, it's what we need midstream, and it's what we need throughout our entire life.
Even with all the proper equipment, in order to stream high-definition video over the web, you'll need a computer that's up to the task. Most encoding platforms like Ustream, Livestream, YouTube Live have recommended system requirements on their sites. But for starters, you'll need at least a quad-core processor, 4 GB of RAM, and a dedicated video card, plus an updated operating system.
You will either regress
Other option is to stream wirelessly, making your camera portable so you can move around the location. Instead of a capture card like the Blackmagic one we featured, you'll need a wireless transmitter like the Teradek VidiU or the Livestream Broadcaster Pro. Like the other devices, they take an HDMI signal right from your camera's output, then encode and send it wirelessly to a streaming platform like Ustream, Livestream, or YouTube Live. The Livestream broadcaster models only work with the Livestream platform. Both Teradek and Livestream have full-sized and mini models with wireless transmitters, and I've decided to show you one of each. For reliable transmission, you'll need a rock-solid wireless connection. So if you're working in an area with no local Wi-Fi, you can either turn your smartphone into a hotspot or use a 4G USB modem and plug it directly into the wireless transmitter. Both of these devices are pretty simple and straightforward. The hardest part of streaming wirelessly is finding a balance between the resolution and the bandwidth. A bitrate can also play a role in getting you a solid signal. You should always test your stream on multiple devices to see if the quality is sufficient or if the latency between the camera and the stream is too high for your needs.
Don't tune out here, folks.
Now for the last part.
This is the most important point.
If you're using a site like Ustream or YouTube Live, you need to sign up for an account. And many platforms have both free and paid options.
Because so much provision has been made.
Built-in live web broadcasting software. Others don't, and they might require some separate encoding software. If you want a higher quality broadcast look, or if you have a multicam shoot, you also want to seek out more professional encoding software. It'll make a big difference in the overall broadcast image. No matter what platform you choose to stream,
we had the gold and silver and the stones and all the things that we've contributed.
Now you have everything you need to stream a live on-camera setup to the web. The streaming platform that you choose will have basic instructions to help with questions about the setup of a live channel or broadcasting from their site. Again, if you're looking for support with a more advanced live streaming setup, look for my second video on live streaming that goes over what to look out for with a multi-cam shoot.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience the world of technology at our New York City store.
All
with us online, give us a call.
own. Did you see that?
Happy to help.
This is huge in getting it in me out. Realizing that all things belong to Him. Do we believe it?
In this video, I'm showing you the equipment I use to produce HD or 4K streams on my desktop using a mirrorless camera or DSLR camera. Coming up.
My mind, my body. Some might say, well, I've worked hard to achieve this, and
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Premiere Gal. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to be notified when I publish new educational videos about video editing and production every week. So in this video, I'm going to show you what equipment you need to produce a high-quality stream, then how to hook it up correctly to your computer on your desktop, and then we're going to jump into the software. You can use free OBS software, you can use Wirecast, Live TV to stream just to Facebook, and then jump into all of those and show you how to use them correctly so you can get started streaming. So let's jump in.
Christians in America give 3 to 4% of their earnings to the Lord.
Here I have the Joby Gorilla Pod connected to the Canon M3 mirrorless camera, and it has an M to EF mount adapter for the lens. It's a wide-angle lens. It's a 10 to 18 millimeter. Another thing that I want to stress is that you don't have to use a mirrorless or DSLR camera. You can certainly use a wide-angle mounted type webcam.
If you know that I gave that to you, you don't have a problem giving me $10 back, do you?
You can have different lenses to create different looks.
So if you don't hide, it's because you don't believe that all you have is God.
That way, the lens isn't really close up in somebody's face.
Or you just
So you should certainly explore other options. This is just the camera that I use in all my YouTube videos, and so it's just convenient to not have to buy another camera to use as a high-quality streaming camera. Next, you'll need some type of microphone. I have an SL600 USB condenser microphone that can connect directly to my computer via USB. Also, with this USB condenser microphone, you can get an optional pop filter, so that way it reduces the pops and effects as you speak. So I definitely recommend getting this. Of course, you don't have to get this particular model. You can use any USB condenser microphone. There's tons on Amazon and B&H. So this is just the one that I have, but I don't want to limit you to just this one. There's definitely other options out there. And then to connect the camera to the computer, you can use an HDMI cable. And the most important part is cam link. You can't just hook up your camera via USB and expect it to work as an HD webcam. You need some sort of capture card or a converter like this, cam link, to convert it into an unlimited stream camera. So you can stream without your camera turning on. So this is plugged into your computer via USB, and you put an HDMI cable connected to your camera, and it does that for you. Now, El Donzo is the producer of this. It's a money company, so you can go check out the capture cards and you can look up and see if your camera is compatible with cam link. If your camera is not listed,
how did you do in managing what I had given in
one piece of awesome equipment, and I think it costs around $120, but it's definitely worth it.
Do you view your money and possessions as yours to do with as you want? Or do you view them as God?
I have HDMI here, so what I'm going to do is just plug it in to the side of this camera here like so. Make sure that you're putting in the correct way. You don't want it to give ruin here. So now that we have the HDMI cable in the camera, the next step is connecting the other end of the HDMI cable, in my case the full HDMI, into the back of the cam link.
God, we're here for just a short time. Other places are using the Bible, a mist, a vapor. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. I lived in Wisconsin 18 years. You walk outside, you breathe, you see your breath, boom, it's gone. We finally have sunshine today. Hallelujah. You're going to see shadows today.
So now that that's connected,
we see shadows on these stormy days that we've been through. And so we got sun today, you go outside, you see a shadow, but as soon as you move, it's gone. Or it's just here today, gone tomorrow. That's our lives.
USB condenser microphone. It's an SL600 by Editor's Keys. It has a cable that connects in the bottom here, USB, and it connects directly into my computer, so let me put this up now. And I almost forgot, you guys should get some type of light to help illuminate your face during the stream. I have this LED light by Newer here, and it's bicolor, so you can make it more of an orange color or more of a white color or a mixture of both. There's dimmable switches on the back, so I can make this by turning off the white, or I can make it a mixture like this, or
clothing, it's going to one day burn.
look to make it just white. And you can also get a light stand separately. Right now I'm at a standing desk, so I can make this fully extended while I'm standing and doing a live stream. And it's really easy to use. That way I don't have to worry about putting another tripod for a light on my desk. So the first step is to make sure that the framing of the camera looks good before you actually jump into the software. If you try to turn on the Canon M3 right now, it'll only flash on for a second. That's because when it's connected via the HDMI, it turns off the live functionality. So before you plug in this HDMI, it's good to unplug it first, just temporarily, and then you can use the flip-up feature on the M3 here, so you can see that I'm looking at myself right now, and you can make sure that the framing of the shot looks good. And because it's a wide angle, you see a lot of the shot. I can zoom in as much as I want until I get the framing right. Then once everything looks good, then you can plug back in the HDMI. So I'm going to hit record off because we're not going to be recording during the live stream. Okay, so let's just turn it off. And let's plug this back in. All right.
We will see with the clarity of eternity. The blinders will be gone. You can choose either to take off the blinders now while we still have a
live broadcasting software, hook it up to your YouTube or Facebook account so you can get started streaming and have that nice picture. So first up is OBS. So OBS is open broadcasting software. It can be used on a Mac or a PC. Right now when you open it up, the window is very empty. There's not much going on. Well, first we need to add a video capture. So you're going to go down here to sources. If you
I can give my life, my money, my possession for something that's going to be eternal. This is what the Bible says.
Since that's my camera.
I love the story of Alfred.
And then from device, we can choose CamLink because CamLink is the one that's connecting us right now. So now you can immediately see it. And the options we have are 1280 for HD. So we're going to select that.
But when
OK.
Ludwig
and
died,
here, what we can do is make this.
They printed in the newspaper the wrong obituary.
You can see that I'm kind of out of focus. So
they printed Alfred's obituary. Now, Alfred had made a fortune
see it and do the
by inventing dynamite, which at that time was used almost exclusively to kill people.
You can make further adjustments.
So when Ludwig died, but they printed Alfred's obituary, the newspaper read, "The merchant of death has died."
You can kind of see my computer.
And it went on to describe how this man got his wealth by inventing something that killed people.
That I look a little
Alfred was so stunned by that obituary, his own, even though he hadn't died yet, printed the wrong one. He was so stunned by that that he said, "I'm going to change my life forever.
And go to
I'm going to invest all the wealth that I have in something that will benefit humanity. Something that will reward people who've done something good for humanity. Thus, the Nobel Prizes."
And here I'm going to select USB microphone because that's
Beloved, he had an awesome opportunity.
And then hit OK. And then immediately you start to see
to look at his life
here on the screen,
while he still had time here to change that out.
And right now, if I talk really loud,
you're here today and you don't know Jesus. You're not saved. You're not forgiven of your sins. You've not put your faith and trust in Christ alone. You are facing a godless, loveless, Christless eternity. That's what the Bible says.
If we wanted to stream, we would have to.
And it's not by your works. It's not by your goodness. It's not by your baptism or civic involvement that's going to get you to heaven. There's one and only one thing that can give you forgiveness of sins and eternal life, and it's the blood of Jesus. It's the sacrifice of Jesus. And when you yield your life to Him and put your trust in Him, He comes and He forgives you, and you're reconciled to God. You can change today. You can make a decision today that will affect your eternal destiny. And in the same way, beloved,
in the way that you
we have
do
the
that
privilege
is you actually go
to invest our money and our possessions now in things that will be eternal.
Studio.
And so I pray that you get
and here is where you're going to basically set up the title, the description of your stream. You can put in any
and you realize that it's all given to Him,
choose
that
the category.
He's
You can
the
choose
owner,
if you want it to be private
and that
to
you
test
have
for the first
an
time,
eternal
unlisted or public. I'd recommend
take
doing
out your
private
sermon
for the
notes.
first time, and then once you're
Because on the back
100%
of
sure,
your
you
sermon
can do
notes
public.
today,
and this is where you can see your chat as well.
Is a prayer.
And down at the bottom, this is where you get your
We've made this such that you can tear off the bottom part,
and then copy it. And then you go back to OBS and you paste that stream key here, and then you hit OK. So notice that the stream video went off when we were doing that. Well, we actually have to change some settings in the camera to fix that. So what I'm going to do is just turn the camera back on again.
So let me read this for you.
And you can actually see what is on the screen inside of OBS because the HDMI cable is giving you a preview of what you see. And if you hit the info button, it'll show you different overlays, and you can turn them off by hitting that info button. And I'm not seeing anything on the screen of my M3 right now. I'm just pressing the buttons, and I'm seeing everything on OBS. So I'm going to go to the menu right now. I'm going to use the scroller over here just to navigate to the red tool here. And then I'm going to use to power saving. And this is where we want to change this. So the M3 doesn't auto power down on us after a couple minutes, right? So we want to change this to off. So that way M3 doesn't turn off while we're in the middle of the stream. Okay, so every settings for different cameras are different. So this is just for the M3. There's different settings for turning on the overlays. So for example, if I exit menu, you see all these overlays here. Some cameras have a menu setting called HDMI output, which allows you to turn off all of those settings, but on M3 you just hit the info button to remove those. So I'm going to try to figure out just by messing with settings. Now that we have YouTube set up, we have the camera settings good, we can actually start streaming right now.
Not because of man's manipulation
to YouTube, and then what will happen is you'll get some notifications at the bottom here to see
so I just pray God with precious body today, a spirit of surrender,
how many gigabytes per
a spirit of heart,
and
wholeness,
you can see how long
a
you've
spirit
been
of
live for.
healing,
And
a spirit
go
of
to
joyful release,
see that we're
a
now
spirit
live
where we hold our lives,
desktop,
our
you can get a
possessions,
preview of
our
the live
money,
stream.
our
Right now it's
relationship
private, but if I was
with
public,
an
you would see all
open
of
hand.
the
And then, God, as people surrender
asking
it,
questions or people
as they give their lives afresh, as they sign this statement, that your spirit of grace
Another
will be
option
released. Your spirit of power will be released. Your spirit of victory will be released. Your spirit of blessing will be released. And I thank you.
You can choose whether or not you want to do solo, an interview with another person, a talk show with multiple people. So I'm going to select solo. By the way, this is the trial mode right now. So there is a monthly fee that you have to pay to use this for certain features per month. But you can have, I believe, 1 year trial to test out. So I'm going to click on solo, and then I'm going to choose on a page that I can edit
For some of you, before you're able to bring this, there might be a little bit of a wrestling match. That's okay. Let the Lord deal with you. Wrestle with God. What is it that's holding you back? Maybe you need to get somebody to pray with you about that surrender. And so let's let this time just be a time of worship, dealing with God, surrendering afresh, yielding to
your camera. So you have to click on this gear icon to make it stay at 1. And then what we're going to do is make sure we have the right microphone in, and it's giving you a preview that we're picking up audio, which is good. So this is my SL600. Then I'm just going to hit save and reconnect camera. And then you would hit start broadcast and then right on screen updates if you want to. So say hello. Show that in your brand. So that's how you use VLive. I think it's awesome. I just wish it also ran on YouTube as well. So that's my live stream setup, and that's how I do high quality live streams to my YouTube channel and Facebook page. If you guys have another way of streaming or another piece of gear that you use, I'd love to hear about it. Be sure to leave a comment below. That's all, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
We video, I'm going to be going through my 7 steps that I do for every YouTube shoot to get ready and get the best results, plus my best camera settings coming up. Hey, what's up, Sean here with Big Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. And on this channel, we do a lot of tips and strategy videos, as well as tutorial videos, just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And hey, at any point during the video, check out show notes and links in the description below. We'll list out all of the gear that we're talking about in this video, as well as bonus accessories and other resources. Let's jump into the video. So we recently posted a video here on Big Media about our best budget setup for YouTube, including the lighting, the tripod, and everything. And this video is actually how to use all of that gear. Now, all of the tips I talk about in this video are definitely going to be relevant for you no matter what gear you have. But in particular, we're going to be shooting with the Canon SL2 as our main body. So any DSLR or mirrorless camera, you're going to want to set up with pretty similar settings to what we do here. But let's jump into this first with our 7 steps of getting ready to shoot YouTube content. And so step number 1 is, of course, pick your location first. Now in this case, we're shooting kind of in a home setting that's actually kind of like a home office type of vibe. And I think the setting matters. This video isn't about creating a background or creating a set, but I think it is important to be intentional and help design this to be used for YouTube videos. And it's also important to note that this is going to be indoor. When you're picking a setting, if it's indoor, the sun has already gone down, so it's definitely important to have some lighting, and we'll talk about that. But of course, if it's going to be outdoor, that's going to affect your gear and things like that. So step number 1 is pick your set. Step number 2 is set up the lighting. Now, this is a budget Studio Pro lighting kit. It's about $75, or you can check current prices. We'll post the links in the description below. But I love this lighting kit, and you just plug it in, set up the light stand, assemble the top. Pretty self-explanatory, but 2 different kind of lighting options that I have here is that number 1, sometimes I use it with the diffusion plate off in case I want a little bit more brightness, although it also makes the light a little bit harsher. But of course, they also come with these diffusers on here like that. I'm going to leave those on for now for this particular setup, because that's going to give us a softer light, and especially if maybe you have, you know, a beauty channel or a lifestyle channel and you want a little bit softer light on your skin, you want to make sure that the lighting looks really flattering, then this is a great lighting kit for that. And once we get it all positioned, if I'm going to be sitting on the couch, I'm going to make it usually a little bit lower, because I don't want the lights to be super high. But if I'm going to be standing, in this case I'm 6'1", the lights are going to be pretty high up. And so for lighting the couch here, we're pretty close here. I'll just get it dialed in, and then we'll go to the next step. Alright, once you've got your set picked and you've got your lighting set up, next thing you want to do is set up your tripod. Now, whatever tripod you use is fine. This is a Ravelli tripod, but one of the things that is important is I like to use this ball leveling feature. And the goal is to have at least the initial setup of the tripod be completely level, which is going to help with our camera work. Alright, now that we have our tripod set up, we're going to see the mount of the camera on the tripod. And so this is the quick release plate that comes with the tripod. We have that screwed onto the camera, and we can just drop the light on it. Super easy. And now it's locked in and good to go. Alright, step number 5 is connect to a microphone. And so when we did this video, we actually covered 2 different microphones for both budget and affordable. We have a Hackstar shotgun microphone that comes in around $20–$25, and a $20 lapel mic. We're actually going to start off with the shotgun rig. It's super simple. Let's attach that to the hot shoe here on the camera, and then we plug in the cable to the mic jack. Alright, so once we've set up our camera, our tripod, our lighting, and our mics plugged in, we're pretty much good to go, right? And you could start shooting right now, and if you wanted to just put the camera settings on auto, then you could get some decent results. But maybe you've noticed and even compared, say, your video quality to other people's, and you've wondered, why am I shooting with like the exact same camera, but yet my footage doesn't look the same? And the reason why is probably because of the settings. And so that's what we're going to dive into now. So I mentioned you can shoot with audio, but personally I really recommend shooting on manual and dialing in all the settings specifically. So because we're shooting with the Canon SL2, the first setting we want to actually do is put it on video mode. It's got a video camera right there, and then we put it on the M4 manual. Then what we want to figure out first is actually our frame rate. And so if I press the Q on the screen here, I can actually see that the frame rate right now is set to 29.97. The other frame rate on here is 59.94 frames, or 60 frames a second. The only reason I would use that is if I was vlogging with this camera, because I would want to use some slow motion. Now, some people actually put their final videos in 60 frames. It gives it kind of a reality TV look. I personally don't like that, but the reason I shoot in 60 is because, again, for slow motion. But for sitting on the couch here and just talking to the camera and doing some videos, we don't need slow-mo. Plus, we'll benefit from it being a little bit better in low light. You'll see why. And so we're actually going to select 29.9 frames a second. So our frame rate is what we want to set first, and that's what we have set up. All right, the second setting that we want to adjust here is our shutter speed. Now, the rule when shooting video is that you want your shutter speed to be double your frame rate, or as close as possible. So if you're shooting 30 frames a second, then you'd want your frame rate to be 60 frames a second. If you're shooting 60 frames a second, then you'd want your frame rate to be 120 on the shutter speed. So we can do that right here, and we are actually just going to take it down to 60. So now our shutter speed is set correctly for shooting a 30 frames a second video. All right, the third setting that we want to decide now is the aperture, and we're doing this in a particular order because the shutter speed is based off the frame rate. We need to decide the frame rate up front. So now we want to do aperture. Now, typically for the aperture, I usually like to do as fast as possible, meaning as low as number as possible, especially if we're in a room like this. Again, it's pitch black outside. We've got these lights, a few other lights helping us, but we can see here that because this is the kit lens, the lens that comes with this camera, it starts at f4. That means it starts a little bit dark for settings like this, and we'll be able to adjust that later. So in this case, I'm going to pick out the shot kind of first, and if I sit over here kind of by the pillow, sort of with the plan to the edge of the shot, and as wide as I can go, it's at 4.0. I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, keep in mind, if I actually zoom in, it goes down to 5.6, which is lower light for us. But for now, we're just going to leave it kind of composed on this shot. We've got our shutter speed set. We've got our aperture at 4.0. That's as wide open as possible to let as much light in as possible. And then finally, we're going to adjust the ISO. Now, this is how we can get the brightness back, because this shot is a little too dark for shooting video. So again, we set our shutter speed first. We got our aperture at 4.0, as wide open as it can go. And now we're going to adjust the ISO to bring up the brightness. So we're about to stop underexposed. And the way you measure this is on your camera, there's that exposure rating that says -3, +3. Perfectly exposed is right in the middle. And so if we press our ISO button here, we're going to go up to ISO 200, tap the shutter speed, we'll tap the shutter again, and boom, perfect. Right there, it is perfectly exposed now. And I want to just emphasize that when shooting video, you want to go in that order. You want to start by thinking, okay, what frame rate am I in first? That's your first question. Based on my frame rate, what shutter speed should I be in? That's the rule of multiple. Then, based on the effects I want or how fast my lens is, what is my aperture at? And once you've set all those things, ISO is that final step to make sure that everything is exposed properly. Now that we have all of that set up, we're going to look at white balance. All right, so now let's look at white balance. Now, this is actually how you can make all the colors in your videos as well as skin tones look the way they actually should and really look beautiful. And now, if you do this wrong, maybe you've been in a case where your videos have been too orange or your videos have been too blue, or maybe they just haven't been color accurate. So typically when shooting white balance, you can just, hit your Q button here on Canon, or just find your white balance setting. And a lot of people just shoot on auto white balance. It could be good, it could be bad, it also could change throughout the shot because the camera is adjusting on the fly. And there's also other white balance settings in there, including daylight, shade, just different options. And you can see they turn the shots more blue and more orange. But for us, we're actually going to use custom white balance using a gray card. And here's one of my favorite pieces of kit if you have a camera that can do custom white balance. And usually these cost around $10 or something like that. We'll put a link to it in the description below if you want to check it out. But what I love about a gray card is you can get your white balance perfect based on the lighting of the actual scene you're in. And again, if you have a lifestyle channel, a beauty channel, and like the color palettes and the actual colors of things really matters, I definitely recommend setting custom white balance. So to do so, all you need to do is simply put that gray card and fill the frame of your image up, and then you actually want to take a picture. Now the important thing here is make sure there's not any shadows on there, like maybe you want the light that's hitting your face to be the light that is hitting that gray card. And then what you do is just snap a photograph. Then once you have that photo, go into your menu and head to custom white balance. What it's actually going to do is it's going to say set according to the image with that gray card in it. Now by the way, you might be wondering, if this is white balance, why are we setting it to gray? Well, there's actually a white side there as well, but turns out that gray is actually even better for setting white balance. You can look that up on Wikipedia or something, that's too wide. But now that we've got that image selected, what we're going to do is we're going to say set, and it's saying use the data for this image to set custom white balance. We're going to say okay. And we're not done yet. If we go back to the actual image, it's still on auto white balance. It's doing all right. We can see that the red on that pillow are pretty accurate. Although the overall shot looks a tinge blue on to my eye. But if we move it right, we now select custom based off of our gray card setting. It is a lot more warm, and it's just color accurate across the board. It looks better with skin tones. It looks better with the blue and the red on the pillow, the white of the pillow. And so again, we recommend setting custom white balance when you can and using a gray card, providing that whatever camera you're using to do custom white balance, you'll be so pleased with the color. And the last thing here is if for some reason it doesn't look right, do it again. There's sometimes where we might do 2 or 3 photos and we just kind of keep tweaking the lighting. Sometimes we might also do like really extreme. Just keep going and eventually get it dialed in, because if you get your colors right when you shoot your videos, the whole workflow is going to be a lot better. You won't be worried about color correcting it or anything like that, and everything will look crispy and beautiful. Alright, now we still have one more step to set up the photo shoot. Of course, all the color, all the settings look good, but the last step is actually making sure that our microphone is set and ready to record. Now, just like you could use auto video settings to get decent results, you could just use auto settings for sound recording as well. So typically it's on auto, it's figuring out the levels itself. However, below. And also, if you have any questions or ideas for future tutorials, let me know about those as well in the comment section. So make sure to check out this video, subscribe for more videos just like this. And if you want to check out that video with my full shoot day checklist, just click or tap the screen right there. For another video from Think Media, just click or tap the screen right there. Until next time, Think Media is bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.
3 verse 20. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all we ask or think, according to the power at work within us. To him be glory in the church and in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever. Amen. You're dismissed.
Today I have a 90-minute class to teach you everything you need to know about Final Cut Pro. Hey everyone, David and here in TikTok America. Not a lot. We've got a very thorough class to go over here. So if you have been wanting to learn the basics of editing, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know today, and I also have a ton of extras for you